the robots have taken over, and this time they're coming for the Pokemon TCG illustration contest. What is up, Cuppa Nation? I am your host, Cuppa Fee, and let's get right into the news! So this year, I entered the Pokemon TCG illustration contest because I wanted to make a 1 million view YouTube video, and I didn't get it. But a bunch of other people did, and good for them. Except the so-called artists using blatant AI and breaking the rules that actually made the top 300 when a bunch of deserving artists didn't. I'm not salty. But on the bright side, you can make my crushing loss a little bit less painful by liking and subscribing. It would just make me feel better. The Pokemon TCG illustration contest is an art competition in which artists are allowed to submit up to 3 different illustrations off a selected list of Pokemon. The cards are whittled down by a group of judges, and the ones that are picked out to be the winners are made into real-life Pokemon cards. And the artists are given a grand prize of up to $3,000. This morning, I woke up to a message from my friend saying the top 300 entries have been announced, so we went through them together, recording in case I actually got in. Although I didn't get the celebratory footage I hoped for, I did notice something a little suspicious with some entrants, although I didn't quite realize just how bad it was at first. Yeah, Koraidon, Charizard, Toxtricity. So these are just the Absols, so I'm not going to be any of these. But they're really nice though. VOK. Okay. No, these are the same. I mean, that might be the same person too. It's a similar art style. Yeah, these are all the same guy. These all have to be the same guy. Okay, you cheeky rat. In the Eevee section, there were 4 entries all next to each other by Vegan K, Vigo K, and Vigo Cachadorian. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I think these all might be the same person. And since having more than 3 entries is against the rules of the contest, this guy is already going to be in hot water. At least he should be if they didn't actually pick his art to be in the top 300. That is 4 whole places taken up by 1 person, which is incredibly unfair to other entrants already, but it gets worse. The proportions are all wrong for, like, actual... Oh shit, okay, this is one I actually entered for. Right. It's not looking good, okay. Koraidon didn't do it. My Toxtricity's an EX, so I don't think it'll be on this bit, because these aren't EXs. Oh, he's sleeping! This guy has like 1 million entries. This guy! Vigo K, you rat. If you scroll down even more to the Pikachu section, there's 2 more. This one guy has literally twice the number of entries that any legitimate contestant does. This could be the peas. This could be the peas. No! No, if I shagged it. Oh no, Josh, I think I've shagged it. Okay. Now the X's. Which, oh god, there's 2. There's only 1. Oh my god, there's no way it got in. No, it's over. It's over. Oh, I'm annoyed that one guy got like 7 entries. Okay, so... No, I'm just... Because he was under Vigo too. So, Vegan there, Vigo. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one though. 5, 6. Yeah, 6 entries. That guy had 6 entries. And those are the 6 that got through. Those probably wasn't there. Like, each of these names probably each had 3 entries. I'd assume there's at least 9. This one guy has literally at least twice the number of entries than any legitimate contestant does, and the fact that no one at the Pokemon Company noticed this is frankly insane. This dude has 3 names, 1 art style, and most likely had 9 entries total, 6 of which got in. Fair play to him though, he must be a really good artist to get 6 whole entries in. Oh no! That's right, it's AI art! All 6 of Vigo's entries feature elements common to AI art, as well as an art style that is commonly copied by the generators. The Pokemon are close, but just off by their designs, and the water effects and the reflections are just wrong. But the first thing I noticed with this one specifically was the pattern of the water. Now, with underwater, the way that light works, it's sort of very circular, but it has a very distinct pattern that is just not really present here. It's like it's tried to do it, but just kind of messed up. Like there's a little bit in this little chest patch, which I think is kind of almost there, but just the rest of it is not giving. And on top of that, there's just a couple of lumps and bumps all over the place that don't really make a huge amount of sense. Like take this forearm right here. Like logically, it would be quite straight, but there's just this lump here, which like if the rest of the image was distorted, it would make sense, but it isn't. On top of that, we've got just a lot of weird tufts of fur in places where there just shouldn't be fur. The tail has this like little bit here, which is wrong, same here, and then it kind of just goes into the sky. I don't know what is going on here, but you might be saying I'm watching all this, Phoebe, you're just being nitpicky, this is the artist's art style. And you're wrong. This is not the artist's art style. This is AI. This is the artist's art style. This is an actual drawing that the artist has done, and you can tell because it is a completely different art style to the Eevee. Like we've got consistent line art with this darker color on the Vaporeon's neck frills. All of the lighting is done in the same uniformed color, and then all of the shading again is just the same solid color. And on top of that, the anatomy is just completely wrong. The frills are wrong, these little lines are wrong, the face is wrong. Like this Vaporeon compared to the Eevee is just so incredibly amateur looking. There is no way that this and this were made by the same. And continuing on that, these love discs are also drawn by the artist, and you can tell again because of the harsh shading and harsh highlight lines. There's just like a couple of other little bits around the image that makes this one kind of obvious that it's AI. Anyway, on to the next one. So we have a fairly similar situation to the one before it, where again, we have a lovely little reference to use. So, oh, my microphone is falling down. So with this one, it's actually quite similar to the previous one, where we have a handy dandy reference point for what is the artist's work and what isn't. So let's have a look at the AI art first. Again, like the previous one, it just has bits on its design that Eevee doesn't have. Like there's a bunch of tufts of fur on these ears, and again, they're just kind of lumpy for some reason. Like there's a little notch here that doesn't make sense. Same with on this part of the ear, there's just a lump of fur from both the inner and outer part of the ear, and then on this side, just the inner part has the lump. Again, these fur tufts don't exist, and on top of that, like they're just rendered poorly. Like why is this line here? What is this line about? Tell me, what is this line about? Like with an artist that is actually drawing, you have to realize every single brush stroke has been put there for a reason. They will have looked at this piece and gone like, okay, this needs to go here, this needs to go here. This has no reason to be here. There's no reason this line should be here. There's no reason this shading should be here. This is the inside of the ear. There shouldn't be any light catching on the inside of it. I don't know why it's been put here. Like it makes kind of sense on the forehead that there could be leaf dappling on the forehead. Sure, why not? But in the inside of the ear, no. If you look at these paws, each toe is a completely different size. Like AI is notoriously bad at hands, and it's showing again. And then with the background, just what are these flowers? Like just again, inconsistency. Like this one only has 4 petals. This one has 5, but they're just a different shape. This one has, I think 5. I think it's meant to have 5. And there's just weird spots where it's been blurred and others where it has been left to be more pixelated. And then again, the most telling part of this image is the Vaporeon. So because of where this guy's been placed in the image and the lack of depth to it, this guy is about the size of one of Eevee's ears, if that. Like looking at the picture, like these are giant flowers. Why is the Vaporeon so tiny? And again, it is a completely different art style to the rest of the image. Like it's the same as before. Sorry, the harsh white lines to do the highlights. Then this like weird dark color to do the shading. There's no shadows on the surface it's standing on. There's no reflections to it. Again, the anatomy is just completely different, and the art style in general is completely off. Like there's no line variation in thickness. It's blatantly wrong. And then to prove that it's the same with the Pikachus, this one doesn't have a fun little reference. However, there's still plenty of stuff wrong with it. So if you look at all of this wetness effect on the Pikachu. I don't understand the choices here. Like, this is just not what water looks like on flesh, like, at all. This foot, I noticed, was incredibly lumpy. Honestly, both of them are. Like, they're just, the shapes don't make a huge amount of sense. Again, AI has trouble with hands, and it shows here. Like, this thumb is very, very strangely shaped. Honestly, most of my issues with this one was the strange water effect, but also, if you look down here, this is a completely different Pikachu to the one up here. Just have a little look. This Pikachu and this Pikachu are different. The colors are different. The mouth is different. It's a different Pikachu. Also, what is this? Like, is this meant to be a reflection of the foot? Because it's not. That's not even slightly what the foot looks like. Same with the tail. Also, what's this? Genuine question, what is that? If anyone knows what this is, please let me know, because I would love to find out. And then it also has the same issues that the previous Eevee one had, where just the flowers are a bit bizarre looking. Like, it's floral, but is it a flower? Yeah, that's just these ones. Let's open the other three just to do a quick fire round. This one, again, the ear shapes are just wrong. Like, Eevee doesn't have these little tufts of fur on them. I don't know why they are here. It doesn't have the little thing on the tail. The background is very copy and paste looking. Again, it's AI. It is. Again, the flower shapes are just very inconsistent over here. Like, again, it's floral, but is it flowers? I don't know about that. Yet again, we have the tufts that shouldn't be there. Very cool, very consistent on that ground. It doesn't have any shadows whatsoever. This Eevee is essentially floating. Very strange choices for where the blur is and isn't. And then finally this Pikachu, again, somewhat inoffensive when you look at the actual Pikachu, but the crowd is where you can kind of tell, just what is that? What is this? I would love to know, what is this? Is this a crowd? Sure, if you say so. Same with the banners in the background, like, this isn't symmetrical. This building doesn't make sense. Which is because it was made by a robot. Anyway, back to the video. So, just to triple check, I chucked all of Vigo's entries into these handy dandy AI checkers. And oh wow, it's not looking good, brev. Just to show these things know what they're doing, here's the same AI checker scanning the art I made for the contest. And on top of that, here are some more telling results from this user on Twitter. As well as Vigo's hard-made entries, there are a couple of others that are a bit sus. At the end of the day, however, as far as I'm aware, AI art isn't actually against the rules. It's just not really a good look for a company that historically values its art and artists so much. Whether the judges knew these were AI and still let them through, or somehow these experts completely missed all of this blatant AI, multiple entries made by hard-working artists who spent tens of hours on their entries and thousands learning their crafts were snubbed for people that chucked a few words into an algorithm made off of the hard work of a few programmers and hundreds of thousands of unwilling artists. AI is a useful tool that should be used to make humanity better, not take the small joys of life away. Creating art is one of the most human things you can do, and having something you've crafted with your two hands approved by a company as influential as Pokemon and even made into a real-life Pokemon card is an actual dream come true. The idea of having that stolen from you by 3 buzzwords in a generator is actually heartbreaking. Long story short, shame on you to everyone that stole placements from actual artists with AI garbage. And shame on you to anyone that entered under multiple names. I sincerely hope that Pokemon disqualifies those that did this and replaces their false entrants with the runners-up that should have made it in the first place. Vigo has privated his Instagram, and I want to urge you not to harass his socials, but feel free to report his entries for flagrant violation of TPCI's rules. Your move, Pokemon.